Hey everyone, it's Wally Dellenbach, and I'm going to do a quick and dirty video here on buffing your bearing edges. The shell I have here, this is a 10 by 15, and it's an 8 lug. Yeah, it's not 10 by 14, it's 10 by 15. Got a nice, it's from RCI, and got a nice Chicago badge I had installed on it. And so since I've got this drum taken apart, I'm going to go ahead and I just kind of custom buff my bearing edges here. And so what I'm using here is, right off the bat, there's 400 grit wet dry sandpaper, and I use a little bit of water, not a lot, I don't want to drench it, and then I use some palm olive as a medium. Not a lot, just like a little drop. And just kind of get everything a little bit wet, and then use, I kind of use my fingers as a guide because I want to be sure that I don't slip into my shell surface. I just want to be careful and take care of the bearing edges here and the 45-degree cut. So I do this face, I do around the top, and then I do just a little bit over the side just to get a nice, consistent, soft bearing edge, okay? So, and it's really quick. It just takes probably the time I'm taking to do this video, you could do both bearing edges and have this thing buffed. So, what I use is the Novus 2 and 3. I'm not using the 2. The 3 seems to do a pretty good job. The cool thing about it is that once you get these done, they're going to be... when the lights hit them, when you're on stage and the lights hit these things, the bearing edges and the 45-degree cuts, they kind of glow. They're like a fluorescent kind of a light, I guess, if you will. They're really pretty cool. So I've got this side already taken care of. I've buffed it, and I don't know if you could see, but when it hits the light, it really reflects pretty nice. So let's go ahead and get started. So this, the batter side's already done. I'm on the tail end of this job. This has been wet sanded with the 400 grit. Now, if you want to, you can step up and maybe do like 600 or 800 grit. But for all intents and purposes, once you put the buffer on this thing, so this is a 5-inch Ryobi orbital buffer. It's got a bonnet on it, of course. I've got several bonnets. I think I might have a total of 3 bonnets on this thing. And it's probably about the time I replace this thing. But anyway, you can see I've got the Novus number 3 on here. And I'm going to just go ahead and bore you a little bit. So hold tight and we're going to buff this thing. Here we go. Typically when I buff, I kind of pick a starting point, something to visually identify on the drum shell. So I started here on the seam. And what I do is I go around typically 3 times. You'll notice I'm going really slow. My shell is sitting nice and firm down on the bottom of the sink, so I don't have to worry about smashing it into anything. And I can see, I don't know if you can, but the bearing edge, I've just gone around. This is my second time. Now I'm beginning my 3rd time going around, and it's already starting to shine up really nice. So all I'm doing right now is I'm really not buffing the bearing edge itself. I'm buffing on the 45-degree cut. But the reason I mentioned earlier about the bonnets, having multiple bonnets on, because it kind of provides a cushion, and when this bonnet runs, it kind of like drags, the material catches, I guess, if you will, and kind of drags back over the edge, the bearing edge itself. So it really does catch the bearing edge, and I don't know if you could see any reflective light on this thing, but you could see how it kind of catches up on the bearing edge itself. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go around one last time, but this time I'm going to hit the bearing edge. And I'm going to apply a little bit of this. And it's kind of a messy job, so I'm not just out here doing it on my sofa or furniture or anything like that. I'm not splashing around. It's basically a lot of debris falls in the sink. So, okay, so here we go. This time, what I'm going to do, I'll pick a spot on the drum. I'll pick the bearing edge again to start. It's right here. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to do the bearing edge itself and then kind of lap up a little bit against the surface of the outer shell. So here we go. Now I have the buffer basically flat against the bearing edge. And once again, I'll just use that 3 times around rule. So there's one. You'll notice I kind of go back and forth. One of the tricks to buffing is you always want to have medium on it. And I mean by medium is the novice. You never want to buff dry. You never want to create heat. You always want to keep your buffer moving over the surface, okay? Do not sit in one surface for too long. Okay, there's my second time around. Going for a third. We're keeping things moving here. Okay, now I'm just going to lap up a little against the outer side of the shell. Now this time, so my buffer is spinning this way, and I've got this side of the buffer kind of lapping up against the outer edge of the shell. So this will make a nice, soft, smooth, consistent, well-polished bearing edge and the 45-degree cut. Go around the inner cut one more time. Just because my bonnet's nice and wet from the Novus polisher, or rubbing compound, whatever you want to call it. And this thing is just shining like glass, really cool. So there you go. That's basically it. Let's get up on this thing, take a look. I hope you can see. Look at that baby. That's a thing of beauty. Okay? All right. So now what I'll do is, to finish this shell up, I'm getting ready to assemble it, is I will, I use the RCI polish to clean the shell up or any other residue on it. Then we're ready to rumble, okay? So this is pretty cool. Just a little bit about this shell real quick. So this is a 10 by 15. I'm not that hooked up on bottom that everything's got to be dimensionally correct. But this is drilled for 8 lugs. I do have the 10 by 14 6 lug. I like the sound of the 15 better. I did buy an 11 by 15 from RCI, but it didn't sit on my rail like the 10 by 14. So I'm going back to the 10 by 15. So it'll sit on my rail the way I like it. So it's drilled for the P1216D mount. I didn't have a tone control put on it, simply because I don't like them. If you like that nostalgic look of the 1973 John Bonham with the, he didn't use them either. Basically, he took out the thumb screw and bent the tone control down. So yeah, anyway, this is really pretty cool. I look forward to getting this thing assembled and getting it on my set. So everybody, be cool. Thanks for watching the video, and peace. Always practice. Stay in practice. Bye.